Hey guys, Josh's Boosters here and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. And in fact, today I have a very special one for you guys because it will be my version of the Yu-Gi-Oh Sealed Only League. I've been playing the last month, so basically end of January until about the first week of February we played the matches. And this will be a pretty long video because I wanted to cover basically everything that has to do with the Sealed Only League in just one video. So the content of the video will basically be a little introduction where I sort of explain to you the rules of the Sealed Only League. Then I will be also showing you guys the deck I played for the first month of the Sealed Only League. And lastly, I will be showing you guys the matches I played in the first month of the Sealed Only League, which will be 3 matches. So, you know, if you can't be bothered to watch the entire video in one time, that's fine. I'll just timestamp all the parts of the video, so if you want to come back, you can always do that. Then before I get into the video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and do enjoy the content, please, consider doing that. And if you like the content, leave a like and maybe even a comment if you want to. Before continuing the video, the Sealed Only League was basically a tournament held between content creators. Some bigger ones, some smaller ones. And I'm not going to shout out all of them individually because that would be just take a lot of time. But I do want to shout out in particular Yu-Gi-Oh for setting up this tournament. Dilemma YGO because it was one of my opponents. Frosty LOTR was also one of my opponents. And Salty Kulani was my last opponent. A shout out to them for participating in this and having a little bit of fun. And I'll be just linking all the content creators who were involved in this in the video's description, so if you want, you can check them out. So yeah guys, the rules. Before I get into my amazing journey of the Sealed Only League, it would be kind of profitable that you guys actually understand the rules we played under. So let me just, tell those to you guys. Basically, only sealed products, so we couldn't trade or get singles or anything, we had to buy sealed products. Then for each month we basically have £80 or about 90 euros to spend on sealed products. This includes shipping costs and cards and stuff like sleeves or deck boxes if you need those for your deck. So keep that into consideration. And then lastly, not lastly, but lastly regarding the money you can spend. If you want, you can basically spend only 70 euros and then keep 20 euros for the following month, which is actually something I did, which I will be talking about when I will be talking about how I built my deck basically. And then there's a sort of limitation on what you can buy. We couldn't buy legendary box sets, gold sets, special editions and jewel box sets. Those are all locked but can be unlocked later. However, for the first month they were locked, so we couldn't buy those. However, if you've been paying attention, that actually means you could buy structure decks. And then basically there's some other rules. I'll just show them on the screen here so you can, if you want, pause the video and just read them real quick. But those are the most important ones. Something important to note is that actually you could buy digital packs. There's a website where you can basically open boxes digitally and see what your pools would be. Now, before I get into the actual video, I played one of my duels as a remote duel, so I did actually have all the cards, but I did decide to basically spend my money digitally, so not actually spend money, but just open digital packs or structure decks in this case, because if you know me a little, I basically own every meta-relevant card at the highest rarity the playset, so it kind of felt like a waste of money to actually buy booster boxes and just, pull cards from boosters, because unlike a lot of people, I don't really get a lot of joy from that. So now that you guys are aware of the rules, let me talk you through my thought process for creating my deck basically. At first I just wanted to play something, or a deck I really liked. I considered something like Burning Abyss, but it just seemed really hard to, if not impossible actually, to get those booster boxes and then actually pull multiple Dantes and stuff. So I figured I would try my hand at Sky Striker. If I just bought a box of Dark Savers, I wouldn't have access to some cards like Hayata or Kaina, but that seemed fine. Almost all of the core cards for Sky Strikes were in the deck, and it wasn't like I was playing against other full power decks. So that seemed like a relatively smart move. However, when I spent a little bit more time thinking about it, I figured my Sky Striker deck would probably end up looking like this. So yeah, take that in. Pause if you have to. Not very good. Even for a suit only format, this seemed kinda bad. And if I bought a box of Dark Sabers, I would barely have any money left to spend on other cards. So then I got this genius idea. I would just spend my money on structure decks. The very first structure deck that came to mind actually ended up being the dinosaur structure deck, you know, with Ultimate Conduct, Tyranno, Oviraptor, etc. So I bought 3 of those. And there's also Twin Twister in there, so you know, pretty good side deck card, I guess. However, while I was building the deck, I came to the realization I was actually missing a lot of cards that seemed kind of good for the deck, like you know, the Ultimate Evolution Pill, the Archosaur, and obviously with the money I had left, I'm not even sure if I could buy a booster box of the set that came in, but then it's a secret rare, so at most I would put 1 and most likely wouldn't put any. So that basically left me with one choice. I saw other people who were building basically like full shadow decks, building using the shadow structure deck. So I didn't really feel like I would have a lot of fun just getting obliterated playing my horrible dino deck. So that only meant one thing. If I couldn't have fun, I was gonna win. Okay guys, so after that super long intro, let's just dive straight into my amazing deck profile. This deck was absolutely amazing, but you're definitely gonna see why. So starting off, the first card in our deck is actually one Caius the Shadow Monarch. Shadow seems to be super popular this suit only format. And so for those of you who don't know, if this card distributes someone, you can target one card on the field, banish that target, so that's already a pretty good effect. And then if you do, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent if it is a dark monster. So you know, against all those shadow decks, this is really strong. It banishes the fusions, so they won't be able to get back the spells and traps. And it also burns them for 1000. Then the second card in my list was one Mobius the Frost Monarch, who says when this card distributes summoned, you can target up to 2 spell and trap cards on the field, destroy those targets. I figured in a format like this, this effect was actually kind of powerful, so I wanted to include one of it in my deck just in case I needed it. However, then, yeah, so this is basically an FTK in this format. Once you resolve this card, the game is pretty much over. Literally none of the decks I played against stood any chance against the power of Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. For those of you who didn't play back then, this card says you can tribute this card by tributing 1 tribute summoned monster. And then if this card is tribute summoned, you can send 2 Monarch spells or traps with different names from your deck to the graveyard, or from your hand or deck even to the graveyard. And if you do, you can special summon 1 monster with the Monarch stats, which are 24 or more attack and 1000 defense, and then return it to the hand during the end phase. And then, if that wasn't strong enough, during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon this card. This is a quick effect, and then you can also trigger the summoning from deck effect. In the actual Monarch deck, that would often bring out Kuras, which says, you know, when it's summoned you can pop 2 cards basically. However, it was pretty much impossible for me to get access to Kuras, so that is actually not included in the deck, but that honestly didn't stop this deck from being super overpowered. And then we have the second FTK of the deck, which is Erebus, which has the similar effect to Aether, where you can tribute 1 tribute summoned monster for it instead of, you know, having to tribute 2 monsters. And then you can send 2 Monarch spells and traps with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and then you can basically shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand, randomly, graveyard or the side of the field into the deck, so again, very powerful against Shadow. And then once per turn during either player's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 1 Monarch spell or trap card, then target 1 monster in your graveyard with the Monarch stats, so 24 or more attack and 1000 defense, and add it back to your hand. So this is also super recursive if they manage to get rid of your Monarch cards and you still don't have access to them anymore. Yeah, basically anytime those resolved, the game was over, which you will be seeing soon enough in the gameplay portion. Then I did play triple Idea and triple Idols just because I want to have enough tribute fodder. Basically, Idea summons idols from the deck, and then idols will allow you to perform an additional normal summon, basically, or tribute summon, I should say, during your turn when it's summoned. And then if that wasn't strong enough, Idea says when she's sent to the graveyard, you can actually add a Monarch's Power Trap that's banished back to your hand, which we'll see later is super powerful. And then Idols actually allows you to banish it from the graveyard to summon Idea from the deck, and then Idea summons Idols again. And that's all super, super powerful stuff. So yeah, very strong cards. And then for the less tribute fodder monsters, I played Double Mithra. This one you can special summon and then summon a token to your opponent's field, and when you tribute this for a tribute summon, you actually can tribute summon one more time during that turn. So pretty strong, just extra tribute fodder basically, because this deck's actually known for bricking even when it was in its prime in the actual format. So I just wanted to play enough of those. Then the third FTK of the deck is Pantheism of the Monarchs. Even in the current format, this card's actually really strong. Basically, you can discard a Monarch's Power Trap to draw 2 cards, and then you can banish this from the graveyard to reveal 3 Monarch spells or traps, and then your opponent adds 1 to your hand. You can show 3 of the same, so consistency card here basically, and also a +1. Basically, anytime you open this and the Monarch Prime, which is a trap card, you auto-win the game. So yeah, not much to say about that. And then Tenacity is basically a rota for any Monarch spell or trap card, where you have to reveal either a card with 24 attack, 1000 defense, or 28 attack, 1000 defense, so all of the Monarchs basically. And then you can add one of those spells or traps to your hand. Insane card, insane card. Then Return. Basically this says if you tribute summon a monster, you can add either a 24 1000 monster or a 28 1000 monster to your hand. This also helps you chain block the big Monarch effects. It only locks you out of using the extra deck as a downside, but that's absolutely fine, as you will see in a moment. Yeah, this basically guarantees a follow-up every turn. Then Triple Storm 4. I assume everybody knows what this does, but this basically allows you to tribute one of your opponent's monsters for a tribute summon, so super good at outing stuff, especially the Shadow monsters. Then I played Triple Domain, which says if you have no extra deck and you are the only one who controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot summon from the extra deck, so a very powerful floodgate effect, which is hinting at my extra deck, of course. And then when you're attacking a monster with a tribute summon monster, you can boost it with 800. And lastly, which is actually almost the most relevant effect, is where you can reduce 28 attack and 1000 defense monster in your hand by 2 levels. So basically you can make it, instead of costing 2 tributes, you can make it cost 1 tribute. So you can summon the big Monarchs for a lower cost if you don't have access to something like Idea. Then I'm playing 1 March of the Monarch. I mean, you have to fill your deck with something in this format, and this, I don't know, I figured like against decks that target stuff or something, I would play this. I honestly don't know. Then Triple Prime. This helps you recycle your cards, but you can also summon it from the graveyard as a monster and then use it as tribute fodder. This together with the Pantheism draw card is basically an FTK every time you draw that, and you have access to a Monarch, the game is pretty much over. So, you know, very fun stuff for this format. Then I played some more fun cards. The Monarch's Erupt, which is basically skill drain if you control a tribute summon monster. Very fun stuff. I'm using supers here, but there are commons in this structure deck. I just couldn't find them for some reason, even though I could find the other structure decks just fine. And then lastly I played 2 Escalation, which basically allows you to tribute summon your opponent's turn, which is obviously very strong in combination with something like Erebus or Caius. And again, like in a proper Monarch build, you probably wouldn't be playing multiple of this, or even like 1, but you have to fill up your deck with something. Then for the extra deck, here it is. Then moving on to the side deck, please don't make fun of me, but you know, the card pool at X2 was very limited, so my side deck has 2 Mobius against trap stuff, 2 Ryza for if I want to spin cards to the top of my opponent's deck for some reason, 2 Caius for if I play against dark decks, or maybe if I want to banish stuff. Then actual good side deck card is the Strike of the Monarch, which basically allows you to tribute summon monster to negate any face-up card, basically, and then it also allows you to draw cards. And then if you want, you can banish this from the grave to change attributes, I think, but it doesn't really come up. But this card, you know, it might be useful against mass destruction cards, maybe, or I honestly don't know, but like this could definitely come in useful. Then I'm playing Triple Twin Twisters. Shout out to the Dino decks I bought, and then this was literally the only card I used out of those decks. There are commons in the Dino decks, but again, I just couldn't find them for the purpose of this deck profile, so I'm just showing the ultis, but these should be the commons from the Dino structure. And then I'm playing 2 more March against decks that target, I guess, and the last Escalation for if I really want to tribute someone in my opponent's turn. I honestly don't really know how to explain this, but again, the card was just very limited, so we kind of have to, go with what we had. But yeah, that was the deck, guys, and then let's go to the replays. So yeah, guys, let's just hop right into the first game, which was against Frosty LOTR. I'm not gonna go too in depth into these replays. You'll see why. It's just not that interesting, basically, but I'm gonna show them to you guys anyway. So he actually won rock paper scissors here, but and elected to go first, but actually I want to go second all the time anyway, because in this format nobody's gonna put up any unbreakable boards, and I just don't want to brick with all my Monarch cards, so that was kind of good for me. Let's just start watching the replay, yeah? So obviously I have no idea what he's playing. He's gonna go Watch Cat here, so I'm like, okay, interesting, no idea what this could be. He's gonna go into Batteryman Solar, which sends a Thunder, and he's actually gonna send a Batteryman here, so I was like, okay, maybe this is like some actual kind of Batteryman deck. Then he's gonna just go link it to Space Insulator, set a card, and that's his entire turn. As you see, my hand was actually already, it was playable, because I could go Tenacity Reveal Aether, and then get the Field Spell, then go Mitra, reduce Aether, and summon Aether. And then I could set Erupt, and I could like search something with the Pantheism I sent. But yeah, I'm actually just gonna try to dig for some more cards here by discarding the Erupt, and then depending on whether I need it or not, I'm gonna go, search the Field Spell with the Pantheism. And you'll see I'm actually gonna need to do that. I'm gonna go summon Mitra here. That's fine. I'm actually gonna opt to just summon Kaius here to, play it safe. That seems fine, yeah. And then I get the additional tribute from Mitra to bring out the Aether anyway, and I can just tribute to Chaos, since he's a tribute summoned monster, and that's one of Aether's effects. Bring out Erebus for, pretty much a combination with the Escalation here. And I'm gonna send the Prime, which will be additional tributes fodder for the next turn. And like honestly, with whatever 2 cards he might have, there's like probably no coming back, right? Alright, I'm gonna get Stormforth here, so I can even tribute any monster he summons, and then maybe shuffle a card from his hand. Very, very exciting and fun stuff here. Such a fun deck. This was exactly as much fun as it was back in 2016. I really loved playing against this deck. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the play I just mentioned. Leaving him here with just his hand card. And, this will just be literally game next turn. Doesn't even matter what I draw. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring out the Prime in his turn, and then again in my turn, and I guess just tribute those for Aether, bring out another Monarch, and that's... Oh, not even bring out another Monarch. I can't even be bothered. I'm just gonna attack for game. Playing around Gamma here, boys and girls. So yeah, heading into game 2, he's gonna opt to start again. My hand's actually... Like, it's not a brick, because I have Pantheism, so I can see like 2 more cards and then an additional card from my draw phase, but I do need to get access to a Monarch here somehow. He's gonna go Watch Cat again. Pretty funny, he mentioned it was just an additional extender basically. So he's gonna play Staring Contest here. Let's read it together. When you special summon a monster to the action monster zone, you can target one monster in your opponent's main monster zone. Move that target to their zone in the same column as that action monster zone. So I guess it's somehow like Mech Knight related. And then when your opponent special summons a monster to the extra monster zone, let's look. That's never gonna happen, so let's just stop reading it right there. And then he's actually gonna use Watch Cat effect to set this World Legacy Corruption here. You do see I'm drawing into my side a Twin Twister here, very, very broken stuff. And I do draw Erebus here, so basically we just win the game right. Gonna go to next review Erebus to get the Prime probably, because Prime Pantheism is basically an FTK like I already mentioned. Then I'm gonna go do exactly that. Draw nothing super relevant, but you know, it doesn't matter, we have enough to bring out the Erebus, so yeah. Gonna reduce the Erebus here and bring it out. Send another Pantheism for next turn and another Domain since we have one in hand already, so we don't really need it in the deck. Just gonna spin a card in his hand, I think. Because you know, I know both the cards on the field are not any threats. And then I'm gonna go Pantheism effect to get oh yeah, I'm just like basically opting to review Tensity here just to have basically get a follow-up next turn. Like I can't use it at this point, but if this somehow leaves the field, you know, I can just pitch like Prime or Domain or whatever really, and then bring it back, then go to Nesty. And at this point I'm in a pretty good position anyway. I'm gonna set Twin Twister and Prime to, you know, get some additional draws if I need those. And Twin Twister just in case he somehow plays some good spell or trap, I don't know. But as you can see, he's just not gonna do much of anything really. Gonna draw another Erebus here, so you know, pretty good draw. Gonna Storm Forth, then go Erebus, get return, so this is gonna guarantee a follow-up for me next turn. Then gonna tribute this guy, search Aether, tribute the What Fox here, another Thunder card, so that's pretty funny. And this is already game, I'm quite sure. Gonna spin something from his hand for whatever reason, and then that should be game, right? Yep, so, you know, very exciting duel. He mentioned he just basically got the sealed product before he knew we were actually allowed to get structure decks, so his deck really was pretty much just a pile. So pretty unlucky, I would say he had to play against my total abortion of a deck. But yeah, that was the first game, guys. Okay, so what I should probably mention, by the way, guys, is that I'm doing these replays on Dueling Book, because it's just easier to commentate over it. Like, it can be really fun to show a remote duel, but it's hard to basically commentate over it. And then if the remote duel wasn't particularly exciting, I don't think it's that fun to watch. So I basically just think this is a more pleasurable viewing experience. But you know, if you think otherwise, please let me know so I know what I can change for the future. But yeah, the second game here is going to be against Dilemma White Joe, which you might know because he made that crazy 60 card VFD Turbo Pal with Zephyr cards in it. And he also really just loves playing Zephyr. I also think he's like quite a decent player, so you know, where I didn't really know my other two opponents, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise, I had heard about him before and seen some of his stuff, so yeah, let's just hop right in. I won the die war here, and I am electing to go second, because once again, I just don't want to brick. As you'll see, my opponent's actually playing a real deck here. He's gonna go Shadow Fusion, and actually open a really good hand as well. Going into Epcalone there. Just plussing him some cards. And then that's just his entire turn. And then our hand's absolutely insane. We have Idea, we have Pantheism, we have Aether, so gonna be quite hard for him. Gonna go Idea first, just so I don't draw into like Ideas. Before I do it Pantheism, then Pantheism, discard return, draw return, which is pretty nice. Like, I was gonna go to Nesty for return afterwards, probably anyway. But now I'm just gonna go Stormforth. Gonna go Stormforth, then tribute his beast to not trigger it, because it's not actually sent to the graveyard by a card effect, it's just tributed. And then tribute Idea as well, because Idea will allow me to get back the Pantheism. I'm gonna send Prime and another Pantheism, add back the Pantheism, and I'm gonna summon out Erebus to combo with my Escalation. Then I'm gonna foolishly try to attack his Epcone here, but Epcone can be destroyed by battle, so that was a little bit of a misplay. But it's fine, I'm just gonna go Domain, and then, you know, I wish him a lot of luck. Then in the end phase I'm bringing out the Prime Monarch. So he's gonna go Foolish here, which is quite good, because it will allow him to send Dragon, and then I figured he would actually pop my Domain, But he's actually gonna go for the escalation here, which I think is interesting. So I'm gonna go into Erebus here, chain the escalation, and then go into Erebus and spin the Epiclone. And then this is super funny. He's gonna go into Dark Arm because he does have 3 Darks engraved. And he's actually gonna be able to, destroy my entire field, which is, funny. But in the end, like, I have so much follow-up anyway that it really isn't going to matter in the long run. I'm gonna add Tenacity here with the Pantheism Grave effect. Then I'm gonna discard Pantheism to add back the Erebus, valuing the return over the Pantheism here. Then just gonna go for another domain with the Tenacity. And with Erebus I can now just shuffle back his set monster, and then I can walk over the Dark Arm Dragon with the field spell effect to boost for 800 attack, which I think that's the line of play I'm taking, setting up Aether for my opponent's turn if I need to do that anyway. But yeah, he's just gonna scoop it up, obviously. No idea what he could have possibly top decked to get back into the game. He's gonna opt to go first again, actually. Probably he just doesn't want to be locked out by domain. And you'll see my hands broken again. He does have 3 back row here, which is quite interesting. Just gonna go FTK in with Pantheism Prime. What is interesting here is it's kind of hard to actually... I'm gonna go... need to domain and then reduce one of my guys and then summon out the Prime, or else I can't actually bring out my Monarchs because they are too big. Or well, I could bring out Chaos, I guess, but not one of the really good ones. He's gonna go Sinister Shadow Games send Ariel, which attempts to banish both my cards, but I'm just gonna chain the Prime, I guess. It's not ideal, but at least that way I don't lose out my Prime. Then I'm gonna go, just do the play I just mentioned. He's gonna chain El Shadow here. I assume he's gonna send Dragon to pop the domain, so he isn't locked out for the rest of the game. Gonna go return, then just go Chaos and chain block him, because this could potentially, I think... oh no, it's just special summon monster, so like it doesn't even matter. Honestly, I'm just gonna banish it and then add Aether, I think. Yep. Aether and just swing here. And just with the card pool we have access to here, it's just gonna be so hard for him to somehow OTK me. As you see, he's just gonna pass turn here. I'm gonna bring out another Prime. Then I'm gonna go Tenacity, get Domain again, just try to lock him out again. But this time I have both Domain and Erupt, so yeah. Gonna tribute Chaos here to bring out Aether, and that's actually gonna be game, I think, because he just has 5/6 and 2 big Monarchs are exactly 5/6 damage. So yeah, GG Monarch, so much fun. Just showing off the Wendy had in his hand. Like, he mentioned he could have said it, but he didn't want to lose it out to something like Erebus or Stormforth. So yeah. Now before I show you guys the third game, basically, so the third game was a remote duel against Salty Kulani, who mostly streams, I think. He doesn't do that much YouTube, but mostly streams. And he actually, he was gonna send me the footage so I could edit it in my video, but he ended up not actually doing that. So I'm just gonna show you guys my artist rendition of my fight against his Shadow deck. Enjoy. So yeah, guys, that was it basically. Don't really feel like going too much into the detail about the last match, because it was basically just like the second one. Monarch is just insanely broken in this format. I was super lucky I was the only one in the tournament, I think, who actually ran this deck, because Monarch mirrors are notoriously, super grindy. And this was actually my first time ever playing Monarch, so it's not like I'm particularly good at the mirror or at the deck itself, for that matter. But yeah, guys, this will probably be like a monthly thing, because the tournament is monthly, and I'm trying to, gonna try at least to participate in the rest of this, because I did unlock some additional perks by getting first actually in the tournament. So yeah, Monarch definitely best, most fun deck. If you did enjoy this content, please let me know in the comments below, so I know you guys do, and if you have something to improve, basically, just also be sure to let me know, because I'm definitely willing to improve this series. But yeah, Hope you guys enjoyed this different kind of video from normal, and I'll see you in the next one.